So, as we explained yesterday, I think you understand the USF and the RSU. We think this forum is to build a strong voice for the free education in the globe. So we also came with to strengthen the voice, strengthen the forum to support the free education all over the world. So first of all, I would like to give our warm wishes from Sri Lanka, from RSU Congress, to all of you, and also the solidarity for your struggle where you're doing in each countries. So we Sri Lankan, the struggle to safeguard the free education is coming through a long way, and we have disclosed some important information and facts, information to you throughout the last few days. Today, we're going to talk about this, what is RSU's main objects and our way to safeguard free education in Sri Lanka, and our views based on free education. So we were researching and we were trying to find the reference to the free education, where the free education came from, where the idea came from to the world, and how the free education established in the world. So regards to that, we have found out that free education has come from after the 1917 revolution, which in the Soviet kind of base free education and the welfare system, and that has imposed the West to establish free education and the social welfare states. So this is one of the Lenin's quote about education and its views. And there's another quote actually. Let me read what we exactly written here. The concept of the free education originates within the Marxist discourse with the birth of the global communist movement. Then itself the interconnectedness of the struggle for education and the revolutionary movement is very clear. So free education becomes a part of the global vocabulary in 1970 due to the Russian Revolution. The essence of this discussion is the link between education and social liberation. And also the working class need knowledge, therefore they are in a, now there is a Lenin quote actually, sorry. That's what you can see actually, the next earlier ones, which I was reading. This is the second one. That's what I was explaining you. I think this is one of the major concerns what we have taken into the account. We don't think, even in Sri Lanka, even in other world, the disruption of the free education is not only the crisis. The workers and the environment all these section has come into a crisis under this system. So let me go into our reference again. According to the World Bank report, the population who earn less than £2 per day exceeds 900 million, and half of that population earn less than 1.25 per day. According to the reports of International Labour Organization, global unemployment rate among youth stand at 12.7%. It consists of a population of 200 million and 78.1% of it is between the age of 15 to 24. We are said to be going through worst economic crisis since the 1930s, and bailout after bailout have failed to recover the world economy. For example, even though the European Union is discussing about maintaining the Spanish budget deficit at 3%, even in France it stands at 4%. In 2003, more than so that is the part of the world economic crisis. But what we want to emphasize actually, in this crisis, not only into the pre-education, there are every single sector like education, the workers, or so on. So our main vision and our plan in Sri Lanka actually to link up all these struggles, like the struggle to safeguard the pre-education and the workers' struggle and the other, all these struggles to need to come into a broader alliance or the broader movement, like a mass movement, to win our rights and our pre-education. And otherwise we do not think we can reach to our goal, we can reach to our last targets. So therefore, building up consciousness of the masses is essential in this moment. Sorry about it. Maybe we started. So at the moment in the world all around, like you can see the region of Arabic regions, what going on, the crisis there, and the crisis in Europe. So we can see the crisis of the system coming up, and the struggle is spreading through, and the people are realizing the problem is there, crisis there, we need to do something about it. What we trying to say regards to the identity struggles, people are doing even in Sri Lanka, the teachers are carrying on their struggle alone. It's not getting solidarity with the other supports, other struggles. And the students are doing alongside their struggle, and the workers are doing alongside their struggle. So they're trying to get kind of identity to their struggle, like they're trying to unify it. So what we trying to say, but we are saying to our masses, these all struggles need to come into one struggle, rather than they are working in their own separately. This is the Sri Lankan experience in the struggle for education. The struggle against the white paper on education, the struggle against the Colombo North Private Medical College, defeating the Private University Act in 2011, the intervention of the student movement in the lectures strike in 2012. These are our experience, these are the struggle we've been involved actually. And also, we do not think the global struggle, without the global struggle, it is very difficult to win the free education, and also without having solidarity with each other, we can do isolation. The struggle can be isolated. It is not here by the masses, and we not get masses support. And once we having the global voice, our struggle can be more stronger. And also, it should not be a reformist struggle, and it must be combined all struggle for reforms to the single struggle aiming for social changes. This is the responsibility of the revolutionary movements. Actually the last slide, what exactly trying to say, without the broader movement to win all other rights and other struggle, and also the joining with other struggle, we are not managed to win the free education. So therefore, the Revolutionary Student Union is planning to make a broad movement in Sri Lanka, and so also we are involved with the discussion through all the progressive people, progressive movement, progressive forces in Sri Lanka. That is what's happening at the moment in Sri Lanka regards to the Revolutionary Student Union. So we can discuss here if there are any issues any questions regarding the presentation.
There are various other student organizations apparently in Sri Lanka, and you're trying to join them. But how are the views? Are they also is the majority of them revolutionary, or is it you really have to work to get them into your corner?
Yeah, there are like inter-university federation have lots of, like every university student union is connected to the inter-university student federation. Inside the inter-university federation, there are students, there are groups, they have a different vision. But the RSU recently formed, and there are considerable amount of students, percentage of students, they supporting the RSU from inter-university federation. So, but like the slogans like free education, like more than 90%, 99% supporting free education slogan within the inter-university federation, and the RSU is taking that struggle forward as well.
Could you perhaps go to the first slide with the quote from Lenin? Could you show the first slide? Because there was something very interesting there. Yeah, that indeed, and it's more of a question towards everyone because in the first sense, the working class needs knowledge, and that seems logical. And then it says that therefore they are in a thirst for knowledge. And what we have experienced is that students often do not see it that way. They do need it to advance their struggles for better education and other struggles, but they do not.
Thirst so
They
much.
don't want that.
They want a diploma.
They only want the diploma. They don't want more education or education that goes beyond just reproductive knowledge. So that's more. It's more of a question if anyone else also ran into that problem and what situation that might bring up.
Yeah, that's, you're talking about the current situation.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is now the education has become a commodity. So they are taking education to get a job or to go up on their ladder.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is true, but the knowledge to do this struggle, we need it as well. So we are talking about that sort of knowledge here, and then of course we are taking the knowledge, like skill training, and that's what the capitalists want. They want to train skilled workers to do production. So in regards to that point, that is correct. But we're talking about the knowledge to do the struggle. So like as exploitation, as somebody said earlier, the people don't see the exploitation. They don't think there is a working class. So but if we show that there is a working class with the scientific base, I think the people will get this education. So the class education, we're talking about in that sense.
What I would say is like you're describing a phenomenon which is happening in Europe nowadays, and I would say it's not so much a spontaneous state of mind of people, but this is achieved through a complex process of propaganda which we go through even before we come to school. I mean, like in every second movie you have a geek, like a person, a nerd who is like trying to learn, and he's presented as a negative person. And I mean, this is just one of the examples that are actually part of this whole mechanism to create this state. So yeah, this is being produced artificially a little bit. And I mean, like like the Western world is like the world's bourgeoisie. So it's like you can have this it's called like spleen. You know, like in the 19th century literature, it's like where you have like rich people who don't know what to do anymore, and they're like bored with their lives. Yeah, so that's a similar effect.
But because they are bored, they tend to go to education. They go have education because they have nothing to learn. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I mean it's like the first world problem. I mean they don't directly see the need to struggle, the need to like becoming a complete person by educating yourself. But you don't need that anymore, right? Because you're like surrounded by super production. You're surrounded by like, supermarkets.
Yes, because knowledge now is commodified. I mean, you get even before you enter university, you were told that you have to study to get a better job, make a better life. That's the point of studying. I don't know, guidelines, whatever you want to call them, initial.
What I think this presentation was quite explicit at is the thesis that this problem itself cannot be, this problem cannot be solved alone. It has to be seen as a wider problem. It has to be seen as like the problem of the entire society, and it can only be solved by the introduction of socialism. So it is impossible to just guarantee free education within the capitalist society. I mean, I probably need to argument this because it's quite a strong statement. You've seen, we've had free education in Europe, in the welfare states after the Second War. And what happens is the capital is constantly running into a crisis. I mean, that's like the natural tendency you get in a capitalist system. And in order to not to run into the crisis, it needs to expand. So the capital always needs to expand its domain. So which basically means it has to reach a sector which has previously been isolated from the capital. So, for example, education, healthcare were sectors that were outtaken from the reach of the capital.
Yeah.
And in order for the capital to continue going without crashing, it needs to conquer new sectors. And that's why in a capitalist system you can never have free education for a long period, because the capital is always going to push, to create pressure on this sector to privatize. So yeah, explanation.
That's a valid point, but this is socialism.
No, perhaps to say we are struggle for free education. Free education birth under the socialist system. Then the free education now is difficult. No? We must be struggle because capitalism, when the socialism crawled, that capitalism take the education for sale. Then now it's the main problem is capitalism is change the education, not guaranteed to poor people, but to sell. Then we must be struggle because they trying to sell, no? Then another part identify the teachers struggle for themselves, the students and every sector separate struggles. No? Then if capitalism maybe they give some victor because they want to save like that, because the separate struggle okay for capitalism. Then if change, no, we can engage every struggle. No? How can do it for their topics must be revolutionary action to make together every struggle that this movement they are battling separately.
I think that we should talk a little bit about what socialism or communism means to us, because for me it's like, so you, I know in abstraction that I can't really imagine it, how it looks if for me it's like an developed form of democracy, you know, where people are deciding what to produce. But if it means it's very oppressive state, I know maybe Alex, what's your socialism? What do you mean? Yeah.
That's a good question. Well, it means, like you said, interaction within a community, within a zone, between members, in a direct, democratic way, in order to actually build the common good, But it doesn't really mean like that someone has to impose socialism. It's not something you impose, that's something that you fabricate. It's not something that appears, that someone creates. It isn't. It's something that's built, not on a political structure, not on an economical structure. It's built out of values. It's built out of community values or international values, whatever you want to call them.
But the Catholic Church is building things out of values.
Yeah,
Those are the wrong values.
Yeah, wrong.
They impose their values with fear.
Wrong
That's the
Wrong.
wrong incentive. That's what he's saying.
But it's, I think when we're talking about socialism, the people, straight away think of the socialism which we had in Eastern Europe. Yeah, so we do not think that's human base of such socialism is really what we want. And also the kind of heavy bureaucratic leadership imposing people what to do and sort of authoritarian system. So we are not talking about that problem. So we think we need to win the struggle for the true socialism.
So you only want revolution, but then like nothing.
What do you mean?
So revolution is good,
Yeah.
okay, but then what happens?
So we need to carry on. The revolution won't finish overnight.
I know,
So
but
we need
you know
to,
when
we
revolution
need to
happens,
work on.
then
So
what happens?
I think the changing economic model
Okay.
is not overnight task. It has kind of transitional period. So in the transitional period,
Okay.
can be prolonged.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
it has been tried. It failed.
Well,
It
but
doesn't mean
every
it
system
failed.
failed.
Yeah. So in the
There is
thing
no
is,
system that-
Well, then why are we trying to do that? If every system fails.
I mean,
No,
you
it's
can
still
fail
hard.
that hard.
Oh, we can fail less hard. Oh, I see now the point of actually trying fail less hard. Yeah. No, actually, because what you're proposing is actually let's build and fail, let's build again, fail again.
Yeah, of course, and there is
Fail,
nothing else
fail,
you
fail.
can do.
we
right?
can
Okay,
do
so this
exactly.
is- okay.
So otherwise we get a disaster.
Okay, so,
So we are keeping our struggle like resistance while we are protecting the free education. We are looking for the long destination where we can safely have free education one day.
Okay.
So we have the reformist kind of reformist slogan, and also we have a permanent solution one day. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
We have to go beyond the reformist ideas, isn't it?
Okay.
So what will happen in Sri Lanka
So
now?
that's why radical ideas must be introduced, right?
Yeah, I mean, the radical mean we are trying to change completely upside down, isn't it? So,
That's what radical means.
of course, yeah. So we need to do that one day.
If not, it's reformist. If you want to change it gradually, it's
Yeah.
reformist. So, if it's by hitting with it with a, with a hammer, breaking it, it's radical.
Yeah.
That's why they are radical.
Yeah, our experience, like we were trying to safeguard free education in Sri Lanka since 1980s.
Okay.
See, you've seen that the privatization act coming again and again from every new government. So every time we're putting the resistance, then they're putting again, they put resistance. So we have to go on. We don't know when
I
we're
know,
going
but
to end,
from
but
what
there
you-
are no end in such process. So if we don't fight for a permanent solution,
Yeah, from my perspective, because and actually kind of answer what socialism is. From my perspective, we actually have like two pathways. you actually fight within the system and try to reform it and then radically change it, or you rather build some alternative. What that alternative? Thank you. What that alternative is? Well, it's not my place to actually. I wish I had the ideas in the perfect system, but I don't. And that's why I'm pushing for values rather than concrete structure.
So,
Madam,
I wanted to kind of transition a little ways because I think we're kind of on similar pages. But what is education and learning? I think are two completely different things. Learning is when you're just kind of going acquiring knowledge, and it's a sincere process in which you're kind of self-actualizing the individual, expanding intellectual capacities. But then on the other hand, you have these brutal bureaucratic systems that beat children into a mold. They teach them to be good capitalists. There's no such thing as ideology, just buy stuff. What does an emancipatory socialist education look like? So a free education is one thing, meaning in cost. But how do we change the structure and experience of education to create more egalitarian ways of thinking?
That's a good question.
That's a huge question. I just asked you how to change the whole world.
The education at the moment, they have designed just to get a trained workforce to do certain works. Yeah, the education should have a broader knowledge and which we need to, like human values, yeah, protecting nature, all sort of issues. So that's like long-term goal in this reference to this state education. If somebody go to study engineering, they have to do ecology, history, cultura, culture, all these subjects. So now they have taken those subjects away from the education. They are just doing just to do something what they want and quickly finish and they graduate it and get a job. That's the idea. So
credentialism is...
Yeah, so you can see now the education how they destroy. And when they come out, they don't have idea about the ecology and all sort of issues. As example, in Sri Lanka, the water issues, drinking water issues. The Sri Lanka didn't have any like issues with the drinking water because even the poor, because Sri Lanka have kind of groundwater very close to the surface. So they dig the wells, you know wells. Yeah. They get the water, clean water after 2 hours, so they can, and some more. Every householders they had a permanent well and they get the water. But they, after 1977, when they opened this pre-paid zones, they did not have any measures to stop the pollution, like groundwater pollution, and also the like air pollution and all those issues are there. But especially now we got groundwater pollution, like in the western province, one of the factories recently they really the fluid waste. They just release it to the ground and it goes years and years. And then now the pH value of the groundwater is 4. So acidity. So now there's a campaign came recently. The police, I think we mentioned that yesterday. They killed about 6 members of that mass. Actually, just the villagers came through and got together with the temple monk, and the people came to the roads and they blocked the roads, and then the government deployed the army and they were shooting. So the school children and some others who came to the protest, they were running everywhere, and then 6, 7 got killed. So now whoever have given approvals for these factories, they're not concerned of environmental issues. I think this is a link to education again. If you have a kind of expertise who are concerning of the cultural issues, economic issues, or the ecology issues, important. So the expertise are, they design just what the system wants. So I can't define what exactly the education needed. It needs to broader concern, awareness, and we need to build up the education what we want in the revolutionary movement.
Yeah.
The question?
Your struggle ends if, let's say, the government of Sri Lanka decide free education even within the capitalist system?
Say it again?
Will your struggle end if your government decides free education even within the capitalist system?
We do not think the capitalists can give free education forever or without any disturbances, because the whole picture is what we see here. If the universities are privatized, and there are, what they're doing now, they're trying to introduce Private Medical College Act to allow private universities to come. At the moment, there are no private universities in Sri Lanka. There are some colleges doing some proxy degrees with some overseas universities like Russian universities and some British universities. But they don't have institutes established in Sri Lanka. Once this act goes through the parliament, when it's become an act, at the moment it's white paper. So the private universities come and they get all the lecturers there, the good lecturers, and in the meantime government cut down subsidies for the government universities. When the government university is going down, and then slowly they cut down, and it's come to an end soon. Because at the moment, and budget allocation for the education is very low in Sri Lanka. And the students, they are having kind of bursary system. That's also, they are not paying in some months.
They are having bursary system?
Say again?
They are having bursary system?
Bursary.
Yeah. Who's providing the bursary?
The government, because they started kind of funding system some time ago. There is very little money. So eventually the who are privileged, who have money, certain class only can have education. The village, in the rural area who are underprivileged, they won't get a degree at all. At the moment, the education free and then up to universities. So we want to safeguard that. We do not think capitalists can do that forever. They have tried many times, and there are no any signs the capitalist government going to give free education in future. So they won't. At the moment in Sri Lanka have a deep economic crisis. The 90% of the budget allocation is going to the loan repayments. Loan repayments is installment monthly. That's when you calculate yearly, it's 90% out of the Sri Lankan national budget.
It's going outside?
Yeah, they pay the loans, repayments. The austerity measurements already there for years. People now not aware about the austerity. The Europe, the austerity measurements is very popular. People are concerned, they know what it is. But in Sri Lanka, the media they are not talking about those. The media is under government oppression, and the journalists are killed. That sort of situation there. So from such government, we don't expect having free education for a long time. I don't think this lasts long if we are not putting the resistance. Because of our resistance, we put some sort of assurance, otherwise not.
So if I did get your point, in Sri Lanka, the system is totally capitalist?
Of course, it's totally capitalist. It's the capitalist system mostly running by it's like a kind of state capitalist. In like West Europe, you can see the loss of investors, the capital owners. But in Sri Lanka, the capital owners created by the Sri Lankan politicians, they are linked. They given government money to their allies to do the business. So somehow the internal investors who are the capital owners very limited. So they can't supply vast number of jobs, and also they can't have a strong economy due to this lacking capital.
So most of the capital owners are government officials, if I could get your point. Most of the capital owners are government officials.
I'm saying most of the businessmen and the politicians, they have a close link. As example, if I say the construction, the construction, the construction contract, which is coming from the government, they give it to their allies, and they have a link, corruption link. As example, I say now, the Chinese involvement is there. They are outsiders, but when China goes to Sri Lanka and they sign the contract with the certain ministries, like the road construction ministry, the Minister of Road Construction, they get lots of money to like commissions from the Chinese bank, and also when he gives that contract to the certain people in Sri Lanka, they got money as well. There is lots of corrupted mechanism through this so-called road construction. In Sri Lanka, people are delighted because these roads are going through their villages and they think this is the development. So this is what's happening in Sri Lanka. So when we are fighting for education, pre-education, we are not sometimes strong enough to overcome the government propaganda messaging, and then people are get wrong message. And that is what we have to do. That's what we were concerned now about the broader movement to win this. We have to educate the masses, like parents, like we're going through students' parents, that we can get easily access to them, and also we are planning to go to the workplaces to educate the masses regarding these issues. Not only the education issue, and the workers have their own issue. Living cost is very high, salary is very low, they have lots of problems, and the environmental issues, and the democracy issues, and the journalists there are no freedom of expressions. Those issues we need to live. That's what we wanted to mention earlier. That's what I emphasized, that we need a broader campaign, broader movement. So the Revolutionary Student Union taking this forward actually. They have taken their hand, as the Lebanese comrades said here, they have to educate the masses. We have to do the same thing. We do not think just pre-education is not only the issue in Sri Lanka. There are many other issues. They are very critical, so we can easily join up together and come to a broader movement. So that is our stand regarding our struggle at this juncture actually.
And how are you progressing?
Progressing, so at the moment there is the big gap for the leftist movement in Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka has a long leftist kind of political movement influence, like 1930s, that has gone with the capitalist parties, and the people still think the left can do something. But at the moment there are no leftist movement, kind of socialist movement. So the Revolutionary Student Union is trying to discuss with people who are interested with those type of system changing political movement. So that's what's our approach. So it is progressing well, but we are not in a rush, but we are in the campaign for free education. While we are doing the campaign for free education, as I mentioned earlier, we are planning to join the struggle. So it is at this moment we are in a process of talking to the workers and the masses, parents, and so on. It is slow, but we are doing it.
This might be a bit of a strange question, but say you get the free education. To what degree do students need to be involved in constructing their own curriculum? You see what I'm saying? I think it's, like you said, you were talking about culture and ecology and art is being moved. The students should have some right to kind of direct the university to a degree, like democratizing the education system.
Yeah, right. The Sri Lankan, the curriculum, there's a curriculum board. Yeah, you go to the university lectures, they are deciding what sort of education to.
Are these administrators or students?
No, there are no student representation, that's a problem. Yeah, even the school education is a big crisis. So they are not updating quickly. Like as if I say, like when I did physics in Sri Lanka, I studied just the optic, the lights, the topic of the lights, the 6 months. That time, the world had already introduced the digital technology, lights technology is gone down. So we still studying lights, so but they are not updating so quickly. So they have a lot of failure of the subject, compositions, creating some subjects up to date in the world technology or what world developments. Yeah, that is lacking. So also now they try to introduce previously we had like it is a 4-year course. The student has lots of time to engage with cultural activities, art, society, whatever. Now these quickly moving degrees, due to that, the student not having much time to involve into, as you said, very commercial, they're trying to finish quickly, come and do a master's and going the ladder. That's what sort of education is very commodity now. So, and then some people going abroad, like in the attitude about the Sri Lankan education is because we did not have various specialties, like only engineering, like doctor and then lawyer, those 3 things were very popular. We didn't have like engineering, only they taking 1,100 for country, and then medical faculty only 1,100 or 200. So many people going away, like study in India, Russia, who have a good money, they go to British or America, something like that. So it's a problem. Even though like government have no plan, like if you well plan, the government knows how many IT specialists we need, how many doctors we need, how many agricultural specialists we need. So there are not such a plan. So there are association for unemployment graduates. I don't know the number. Unemployment graduates. How many are there? There are lots. So we are linking with those units as well. And even whoever employed, there are 25,000 unemployment graduates. Lots.
That sounds like the issue.
Yeah, and also there are external degree holders, lots. And they also not having job. And also when they get a job, they are not getting their subject. They get job somewhere else. The popular job is teaching. When you get a teaching as a first appointment, you need to go far away for the difficult areas. They say difficult areas in like rural areas, and you have to stay a long time and then come in. So that some people won't like it. There are lots of unhappiness about their job. There are no job satisfaction as well. Even though the job with a living cost, the salary is nothing.
It's a bit strange because you were talking about this directing board, a directing board of the curriculum.
Yeah.
In the U.S. model, it's the top 10 corporations in the state that direct the education model. They send one representative each.
Yeah.
So you have.
No,
that's you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
The top 10 corporations in our state direct our universities and our courses, and they own buildings. And I guess I'm trying to say avoid that model at all costs. Make sure that those directors don't become corporate reps. Because Blackwater.
In the socialism, we don't have top 10 companies.
Different people own the companies. If the people also own the companies and then.
Oh yes, in a socialist, but I'm saying something to watch out for because the American model seems to be growing in a lot of these places I'm hearing about.
Yeah, because they want the just what business people want. So they want to produce, but they won't. That's why they get the cooperative people into the curriculum.
In the education system changes to help the corporations in the technology. So it's like the fracking company that just started in North Carolina is on the board already.
Yeah.
And they're directing students how to learn how to frack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 6 months, you'll have a new corporation in and change it. I guess I was just simply trying to comment, avoid the American model and fight for the curriculum and control it.
You exactly explained why education can never be like a long-term success within capitalist system, because like the biggest companies are going to push and are going to try to change it into their interests.
So free education first and then emancipatory education, like right behind it, they almost have to be the same thing. So cost and curriculum fight, almost the same.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, at the moment in Sri Lanka, the curriculum, formulation of curriculum is same. So that board consists the university professors. University
So university professors actually decide what they teach.
They are always, it's like that. The school education, the school teachers who have become senior, and eventually who study the
seniority and merit.
Seniority is their service.
Okay.
And in the meantime, they are who have in their higher academic qualification. And there are grading system as well for the teachers and who have become principals. They have a principal grading. Who have done a decrease in education, they are getting those places. And some of them going abroad as well to get oversee the other people's curriculum. But lots of crisis, lots of critics about Sri Lankan education. They are changing very slow, and then our kind of exam papers also having lots of faulties. That's probably
So in case you were able to build socialism in Sri Lanka, would it manage to be self-sufficient? So would Sri Lanka manage to like produce all the goods it needs? I mean, what are the main things you import?
Yeah, our mainly the Sri Lanka, see, like if you concern with agriculture, we can produce like paddy, the rice. The amount of rice we needed and more. And all the vegetables grow easily anywhere in the country. And we have sea around, lots of resources in the sea, minerals, and then also we have petroleum resources. We haven't touched yet. The government has planned to sell those, the location to the other countries who are having technology, 3D technology to get the oil. So, I don't think that there is like producing all the like food what we need it, we can do without any problem. There are no problem with the water. We have more than 100 rivers all over the country surrounding, and then we produce tea, coconut, rubbers, and many others like fruits. This grow easily, and banana we can supply. We have a 47 banana varieties, but we don't import them. So
what about precious metals?
And
precious metals, and you mentioned oil, right?
we have some metal resources, and they are selling the other countries those mines. The government are using them. So in Sri Lanka at the moment, like industries wide, we are not manufacturing that much. The Indian market, the mainly in Sri Lanka, all the like clothes and the medicines and the like motorcycles, three wheels, the vans come from mainly Japan and India. At the moment, the biggest amount of money going to India from Sri Lanka, and then now China, and used to be first Japan, because we are getting lots of Japanese used vehicle. So it looks like a Japanese vehicle dumped in Sri Lanka, lots of them used vehicles. So at the moment we have one car factory which is still not manufacturing cars, just assembling cars, getting parts from the German or somewhere in South Korea, and just assembling micro cars. But they don't supply that much job, and it doesn't effect on our economy significantly. And then it's made now based on work, lots of people working abroad and they sending money, and like in Saudi Arabia, biggest Sri Lankan workforce is there, and they sending money from those the foreign currencies helping to the government to roll up money, and the taxpayers' money and also there, but it's not significantly helping. But every year their plan is to get IMF and World Bank top-up to run the country. IMF office is there, World Bank office is there. They always meeting with the Sri Lankan finance minister and the government. They are running under their condition. The cutting down public sector also one of the IMF condition. And so self-sufficient is not a problem, but because of the capitalist plan, they have no plan to develop agriculture. There are no subsidies for farmers. There are no internal factories improvements at all. They are not considering small manufacturers to come out. We have multinational corporations are there, like Unilever is the main soap, and the Unilever's it's a multi-corporation.
Yeah.
Is there. They are one of the major companies there. They have a monopoly. So and all other outside items, the household items and all vehicles, fridges, everything selling. They're getting from abroad and selling there. Otherwise, there are no problem to develop to be self-sufficient. We have enough resources and we have enough human resources. We need a plan. We need a political vision, and then need, of course, the system. So the current system, we do not hope they can do that.